first, it's a victory for the underdog. My childhood bully has become my coworker, and she's bullying me again. When I, 18 female, was in the 5th grade, age 10 to 11 for any non-Americans, there was these new twins who moved from the other side of the country to join my class. For some reason, these 2 kids did everything they could to make my life miserable. I think it's because I was socially unaware and a bit odd as a child, but I'm not sure. The boy twin was this very big kid who would regularly beat me up, and the girl twin would humiliate and spread rumors about me. Of course, the teachers never did anything about it. Luckily, these 2 went to different middle and high schools, so I wasn't bullied, and I had a pleasant time in school after that. Most kids were not happy about going to middle school, but I was excited for them to stop torturing me. However, last month, I got a job at a new grocery store in my neighborhood. However, last week, the girl who bullied me got a job at the same grocery store. At first I thought, it's been 7 years, she's probably changed. But just now a few coworkers asked me, "Did you really have sex with the manager so you could get hired here?" I shouted at them, "No," and asked them where they heard that, and they said, "The new girl told us." I didn't want to go through this again. I'm genuinely considering switching jobs to get away from her. I feel so lost and helpless. Let's check in with the community for some relevant comments. First up, HR is your friend in these situations. She's making it a hostile work environment. Get a notepad and write down every time with the date and time and what the incident was. Keep a record of it. If you work at a small store with no HR, then go to management, but skip management. If you have an HR, go to HR first. I'm almost positive your manager doesn't want the reputation of being a sleaze and making 18-year-olds sleep with him to get hired. If he's a decent person, at least. The OP replies, "The store doesn't have an HR, but I'll talk to my manager when I see him." Update. This post is an update to my previous post. I'd recommend reading that post first. The last few days have been pretty chaotic. First of all, I found out the new girl at my workplace, who was my childhood bully, was spreading another rumor, claiming that my boobs were fake. I took the advice of most of the people in the comments in my post and sent an email to my manager telling him about how she made up a rumor claiming that I slept with him to get hired. He responded, saying that this is a very serious issue and that he wants me to come into work tomorrow to get my side of the story, because my bully had a shift then. The manager came in, looking absolutely furious. My manager spoke with her, me, and a few of my coworkers to see what was going on. After my manager spoke with my bully, I saw her leaving. She came up to me and said, "F you tattletale slut," and left. I asked my manager what happened with her at the end of my shift. He said, "I spoke with her about the BS she was spewing. She tried acting innocent, but everyone I asked said that she was the one who made that crap up. She's fired. We don't have to worry about her anymore." I was kind of hoping that she would throw a temper tantrum, but that didn't happen. I finally stood up to her, thanks to the advice and words and support from Reddit. I'm pretty sure my past self, the little girl who had her backpack stuffed in a crap-filled toilet on her 11th birthday, would be so proud of me. Let's get a couple more relevant comments from the community. First up, some people never really move past high school. The OP replies, "Even worse, in her case, she bullied me when we were in 5th grade. Another person says, "How childish of that girl to hold on to that hate for OP for that long and F up her employment because she couldn't let it go." Next person says, "There's a girl at my school that bullied me in elementary, middle, and started effing with me again in high school. The funny thing is, I did nothing to this girl. She just hates me for no discernible reason. Some people are just messed up." Looks like your childhood bully missed the memo that life isn't a twisted sequel where they get to reprise their role as the tormentor. But hey, at least now they've upgraded from stuffing backpacks into toilets to flushing their own job down the drain. Have you ever stood up to a bully? Share your experience with us below. Up next, a Photoshop princess who deletes anyone who gets in the way of her perfect day. Am I the a-hole for changing out my bridesmaid's dress during the reception, even though photos were over and I had no more responsibilities? My 25 female brother, 23 male, got married to my sister-in-law, 23 female, who seemed perfect for him in every way. He proposed to her at Disney World, and as soon as they announced their engagement, she started planning their wedding. Everything was going great. Her mom gave her $20,000, and sister-in-law decided to buy the bridesmaid dresses, so she was sure she could have what she wanted. She asked her 4 best friends and me to be her bridesmaid, and presented the dress options to me because I was the biggest, and she wanted to make sure they fit. She got 2 colors in the same size, style, and brand, and the lighter one fit me very well. The darker was extremely tight and short enough to not completely cover my downstairs area. I thought it had been mislabeled, and I showed her. It was the biggest size the dress came in, so obviously I couldn't wear it. She agreed and put the dresses away. Fast forward to a week before the wedding, and she decides to use the dark color and has appropriately forgotten that it doesn't fit because she bought out the lighter color for each fitting. Her mom set up an extra fitting for the dark dress, and the seamstress and I both freaked out once I put it on again. I had lost 5 pounds but gained more boobs, 38H, and the dress was baby doll style, so it hung well above my hoo-ha. The fabric didn't have any extra to let out seams, and the only thing we could do was replace the straps to make them a couple inches longer. The chest puckered so much that we sewed the slip part of the dress to the outer fabric to make it less noticeable, and at the end of the day, she just told me to wear shorts under it because there wasn't anything else she could do. I told sister-in-law and she just said it couldn't be as bad as I thought, and to deal with it. I said I would rather not be in the wedding at all, and she flipped. She got the whole, immediate and extended who were already in town, family to talk to me, and I finally agreed to stay on as long as I could wear shorts under the dress. Day of, we were getting ready and I put on my shorts so my underwear wouldn't show. Sister-in-law freaked and said they showed under the dress and I couldn't wear them and stop being dramatic. The other bridesmaids looked sympathetic, but didn't say anything. So I took off the shorts and held the hem as I walked, and the flowers low. I hid in the back of all the photos, and the groomsman who walked the aisle with me held my elbow, instead of lacing my arms, so I could still hold my hem and my bouquet. Immediately after photos and the ceremony, and with the permission from the bride and groom from the day before, I changed into a different outfit. Same color, no embellishments, but longer. When she saw me later, she started whisper yelling at me that I was so dramatic and I was ruining her wedding and to just leave. I didn't have a car with me, so I just sat outside the venue until the reception ended, so as to not upset her further. She now has a photo from the ceremony hanging on her wall, and I've been photoshopped out of it completely. And she's been reminiscing about the wedding recently, and including me in the conversations like, "OP, do you remember the bridesmaid dresses? Oh, they look so good," among other things. I legit cannot tell if she just doesn't remember or if she's just trying to be mean. I am autistic and not the best at social situations, so I really don't know if I'm being dramatic or if I should just have said no to being in the wedding even though the pressure of my family. And when I told my parents and brother when we were all together one night that the whole situation made me feel pretty bad, they all said that I was being dramatic. It was her day and it's their house, and they can hang any art they want to on the walls, and to stop complaining about the past. I hadn't brought it up at all since the wedding, so I didn't think I was complaining all that much, but maybe I was. Maybe I made the day more stressful for my sister-in-law than it needed to be. Maybe she just wanted to forget it happened and that's why she photoshopped me out of the photo. Am I the a-hole? What do I do? Here's some additional information from the comment section. First one. Yes, I did the fitting with sister-in-law's mom's friend, but once it was done, I walked out into the living room where my parents, grandparents, brother, sister-in-law, her mom, and one of my cousins from out of state were sitting. The seamstress came out with me and said there was nothing more she could do without cutting up the dress or adding more fabric to it, and suggested I wear shorts underneath. Everyone agreed, and sister-in-law very adamantly said no adding fabric or cutting of the dress. It's hers. She bought it. So it was decided, about a week before the wedding, that I'd have shorts on under the dress. I made sure to buy 3 separate pairs for sister-in-law to choose from, all the same color as the dress. We all agreed. The OP on if she was close to her brother. I was 25. She was 23. My bro was also 23, if that matters. I was close with my brother in the way that I think most siblings are. Like, we annoyed each other but protected each other most of the time. He used to stand up for me in high school when I was being bullied, though I didn't actually know about that until much later. And he'd always explain innuendos and jokes to me when I didn't get them. I would make him food and plan birthday parties and stuff for him, and drive him to and from his extracurricular activities in friends' houses. One time I spent all the money I had made for almost a year, minus living expenses and food, on paying off a loan he'd gotten to buy a truck. I didn't fully pay it off. I was working for minimum wage, but it was a pretty big chunk. He would let me hang out with him and his friends. I don't know what else could describe our relationship. When he met sister-in-law, she was so nice to me and really felt like part of the family. I helped him pick out her ring and everything. Well, talk about a wedding nightmare that could make even the most seasoned event planner cringe. It sounds like your sister-in-law had a vision for her big day that clashed with, well, reality, and unfortunately, you got caught in the crossfire. From the initial fitting fiasco to the last-minute scramble, It's clear the dress was a disaster waiting to happen. And who knew? Wear shorts underneath would become the hottest bridal trend of the season. Then there's the photo debacle. Nothing says, "You're dead" to me quite like being digitally erased from existence. Remind me not to get your sister-in-law's bad side. She's got Photoshop skills and she's not afraid to use them. As for your family's response, well, it's a masterclass in how not to handle a delicate situation. Gaslighting anyone? Your concerns were brushed aside faster than the wedding cake was devoured. Maybe they missed the memo that empathy is a free upgrade. So are you the a-hole? Absolutely not. Update, February 1st, 2024. I followed the advice people gave me on my last post, and I showed my family, my mom, my dad, bro, my post and all the comments. My brother said that my sister-in-law feels incredibly embarrassed that she made me wear that dress in the first place, and that's why she did all the stuff, photoshopping me out of the wedding photo on their wall, kicking me out of the reception, etc. He also said telling me the dresses looked pretty was her way of apologizing. He asked me not to show sister-in-law the post because she'd be so sad and embarrassed. He said she's really trying to forget it all happened. My mom said she was sorry and that she didn't realize most of that stuff had happened and didn't know I was still upset about the dress. She said it was a crappy situation and she understands why I would be upset, and nobody enjoyed seeing me walk down the aisle like that. She apologized for telling me to not pick that battle because she realizes now that it wasn't just a small thing to deal with, and if she had realized sister-in-law was still going with a dress that didn't fit with more notice than a day or two, she would have done something and maybe we could have altered the dress more or whatever. I think she's really upset that it happened and she couldn't do anything about it, and that I shared it on the internet for strangers to read. My dad laughed at everyone calling my sister-in-law an a-hole. He thought my post was hilarious. He especially liked that I talked about him explaining the battles phrase because he is almost never the one explaining phrases to me. That's usually mom and brother. He said I made him sound great. I also sent the post to my cousin, the one who had me in her wedding after bro's wedding, and she told me it reignited her rage from that day. She invited me to come live with her a whole state away from my parents and brother for a while. I think I'm going to do it. I've not showed the post to my sister-in-law. I'm a little afraid this has made some things worse. Like, my family might start fighting about it, and it would be my fault. Maybe I should have just been passive-aggressive like some people suggested. I'm sorry I don't have better news. Now some more info from relevant comments. My mom had lots of responsibilities at the wedding and didn't notice I was gone until she was looking for me, so we could carpool home. I'm sure she would have come out to see what was up if she had known, and I think I must have written something in my post that makes her seem more awful than she is, because she was the one who got sister-in-law to agree to shorts and changing the dress at the reception in the first place. She didn't even see me on the wedding day until I walked down the aisle, and we didn't have a chance to talk until it was already over. I think she thought it would be all fine because I had permission from sister-in-law and my bro for the dress change and the shorts, and she didn't even know about the photo because she never looked closely at it. It's a photo of the whole thing from the back of the aisle with all the guests and the couple in the middle under the wedding arch. Similar thing with my brother on the wedding day, but he was there when sister-in-law told me to leave, so I don't know about him. The OP on the dress. First comment. I was the biggest, extra large, 38H chest. The other girls were really thin and looked great in their dresses. It was a dark blue baby doll style dress, the kind where it looks like a high neck halter in the front, but it's the same in the back, with really thin straps that are right next to your neck and shows a whole lot of shoulder. It had two layers. The one layer was a stretchy opaque fabric. The outer layer was a sheer fabric with no give in either direction that was supposed to look all flowy. Does that help your imagination? The second comment has a link to a photo. Closer to this, but dark blue and not shiny. Two fabric layers, a little more flowy. I couldn't find the actual dress. So you brought the internet's wisdom to the family table, and boy did it spark some fireworks. First up, your brother's revelation about your sister-in-law's embarrassment. Well, isn't that just the cherry on top of this dysfunctional wedding cake? Nothing says, "I'm sorry for ruining your dignity," like pretending you never existed in the first place, right? At least she's got a future in digital art if this marriage thing doesn't pan out. New update. Lots of people have asked me to update again, so here goes. My mom really isn't the villain in this story, I promise. She was the one who got sister-in-law to agree to the shorts and the changing dresses. She didn't know I'd been photoshopped out of the picture. She hadn't ever looked at it that closely. It's hanging in sister-in-law and bro's place. She is the one who had always advocated for me, with doctors and schools and family and other people. I think she was just incredibly stressed and didn't realize a lot of this was happening until I brought it up the first time. And even then, I don't think I put as much gravitas on the situation as I should have. Also, she only recently realized that I don't lie. Growing up, I was known as a liar because my undiagnosed autism had me not completely understanding, responding to questions very literally. She apparently thought I was lying when I brought up the photo earlier, having never actually looked closely at it. Now she has looked and she's very upset. Anyway, here's the actual update. In my new room at my cousin's place writing this, and a whole lot has happened. First of all, thank you for all the support. My last update seems to have gone nutso crazy balls with comments and upvotes. I decided to partially take the advice from the comments on my first update, while hopefully still honoring my brother's wishes. I do want to eventually salvage my relationship with him. Instead of showing sister-in-law my posts, I confronted her. I told her how it made me feel during the situation, and in the aftermath, I asked her why she took me out of the picture. She said she had already apologized to me after the wedding, and while she did a crappy thing, it was uncool of me to continue to bring it up. I told her I didn't remember that at all, and she said, "Well, I said I was sorry. If you don't remember it, that's not my fault." I asked about the photo, and she told me that she took me out because they didn't like any of the photos, so she removed me and thought that it would have made me happy. I left the next day, and once I got to my cousin's and told her what was going on, she got really mad and went upstairs to cool off. This next part I didn't find out about until a few days ago because I had my phone off, trying to go low contact with my family. My cousin put up both my posts on sister-in-law's social media, telling everyone she was the sister-in-law and that I had to move away because of her. Not only did all her friends and family read them and all the comments, but so did her boss. She got fired because the boss didn't want someone who bullied disabled people in their workplace, especially when they work with kids. My family also saw it, and apparently everyone was been blowing her up so much that she deleted her accounts and is crying every day. She's also pregnant, and my bro has been calling my phone non-stop, leaving messages saying that I am going to make her lose the baby due to the stress I caused. People have also been calling and texting me, mostly in support, but also some saying I got her fired and telling everyone what she did was not worth the fallout. My cousin says she got what she deserved, and while some of the comments have said I don't stand up for myself enough, I can't help but feel bad for her. I didn't want her to get fired, I just wanted an apology. Let's get a couple community comments. First up, there was only OGTHA. As a fellow big-chested lady, there was no redeeming that dress for OP going by the link she shared, even with shorts. I'm having a hard time picturing it being flattering on any body type, to be honest. It looks like an effing pillowcase. And then sister-in-law can't even swallow her pride enough to just apologize? That's all OP wanted. And then OP's own brother. If she loses the baby, it's all your fault. Wow. I mean, like attracts like, I guess. They deserve each other. Someone else chimes in. Boy, her family just sucks all the way around, huh? Gets forced to wear a very uncomfortable and inappropriate dress, no one really has her back or takes her concerns seriously, acts based on agreed upon compromises, then gets berated for it, then gets gaslit that she got an apology, then has her cousin out her post public to cause even more drama for everyone including OP, even if it was good karma for the sister-in-law, but it also put OP in a situation it sounds like she didn't want to be in. First off, kudos to you for clearing the air about your mom's role in the circus. It seems like she's more of a clueless bystander than the villain of the piece. Hey, we've all had our moments of obliviousness. Welcome to the club. Now, on to the showdown with your sister-in-law. It's like a verbal sparring match with all the grace of a wrestling match between two toddlers. You wanted an apology, she offered a masterclass in deflection. Classic move, but not exactly what you were hoping for. And then there's your cousin, the social media avenger. Nothing says family loyalty quite like airing your dirty laundry out for the world to see. But hey, if you're going to go down, might as well take everyone else with you, right? Tell us about a time you had to grin and bear it, even though you were hella uncomfortable. And thank you for joining us today in the R Lounge. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you soon! And don't forget to put your chair back where you found it.